Hey guys, Cigar Life here. Now, tonight we're going to be reviewing the Montecristo Extra Long Churchill. This one is a Dominican Cuban seed filler. It also has an Ecuadorian wrapper, Connecticut. Oh, I love the smell of it. It's rated 91. I got it in a great sampler pack. If you haven't seen my pictures already on Facebook, I have quite a few cigars to choose from. I'm going to be doing some unboxing videos with some more that my wife decided to give me for Father's Day. A bunch of really great packs, highly rated one. Right now, she's actually smoking a Nicaraguan 90 rated plus factory overrun that I got from an online dealer. And it's really great. It's the first time I've ever seen her really smoke cigars. But tonight, we're trying out the Montecristo. Now I like the deep V cutter. It's one of my favorites, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut it over my ashtray here. It's one of those things that online, the ashtray looks a lot smaller than what it actually was. I like to cut mine a little bit of an X. I don't know, it just seems like I get a little bit better out of it. If not, it's kind of like doing a punch almost. But I try to get a good deep X in this. Oh yeah. See, I like that good deep X in it. And this is the tiny ashtray they sent. I mean, are you kidding me, guys? I thought it was going to be half that size. My dad says you can eat your salad out of it and smoke your cigar in it. So, uh, cigar lighting, of course, you're going to get criticism for it no matter how you do it. But extra long ones, I do like to do a little bit of toasting first, uh, just because it keeps you from puffing your head off trying to get it out. Now, this one's supposed to have wood flavor, a little bit of spicy ending, and a medium body. It says a little earthy. Of course, if it's Cuban seed, it's got that little earthy, grassy hay flavor. Uh, and that's just one of the really good hybrids. Like Davidoff does a really good hybrid. So that's really good. It's really smooth. It must have been aged for a while. Of course, the tobacco itself is probably fermented for a few years, but I would say this one's probably aged about 5 years at least. Yeah, that's that's definitely a 90 plus cigar right there. I think I'm going to enjoy this one quite a bit more than I enjoyed the 92 rated Cohiba, which I can review one of those for you, but um, I made a mistake. I smoked it right after I smoked a 98 rated cigar, and it was just the difference between 92 and 98 is quite a bit of difference. Now, there are a lot of cheap cigars I have uh, that I really like, and some of those are in my humidor pictures there, you'll see. But one of the ones I really like is actually Cuban Round. Not the most expensive, not the cheapest in the world, but this one right here, this one's going to run you about $15 to $20. Depends on which website you get it on. Some websites got really good ones. I'm not really going to name any websites by name. Not being monetized or sponsored by anybody. I'm just trying to give you a guide on a cigar review. And if there's any cigar you want me to review that you see in my humidor or that you see in one of my unboxing videos, please throw it in the comments. I'll check it out. I'll definitely review it for you. Let you know if it's worth buying. Let you know the flavors because this one is supposed to be medium body. I think it's medium to light. Of course, it's going to get heavier as you smoke it. But I do like to have a little bit of a drink while I do this. That's one good thing about having a salad bowl there. Just so I don't get demonetized or dematized as they call them. I'm not going to show you exactly what I'm drinking, but show you how to pour. Now, guys, if there's any cigar review you want to do, post to Cigar Life. That's what Cigar Life's all about. A lot of people I joke around about it. Something I've been saying for years is, man, you gotta have a cigar life, and that means you gotta take that time out as a husband, as a father, as somebody that just works their butt off. You gotta sit down, have a cigar, take that time to relax. That time to sit back and just, if y'all haven't seen it, the health effects of cigars are actually wonderful. Steven Crowder was talking to Larry Elder about how they actually took out all the fake cigars and put in only hand rolled cigars. And the FDA actually said that on hand rolled cigars, two or less a day, that they couldn't even track the difference between that and non smokers and cancer. It was minute. I mean, they couldn't even count. So the health benefits that added are this. There's many YouTube videos about it, but just mental health benefits also helps with circulation. Uh, it adds a little bit extra to your body that you don't get. Now, some people like to inhale every few breaths. Some people like to do the retro inhale, which I'm one of those retro inhalers. Heck, if it's a good enough cigar, I inhale it sometimes, but not all the time, and not every cigar. I'd have to say, Montecristos are definitely known. Whether you get the Cuban ones or you get the Dominican ones, they're definitely known for making some of the best cigars in the world. And I love pretty much any type of cigar. I'll try it. There are some cheap ones that I smoke and they may not be my favorite. There's some that I smoke and go, they should get their name out there and be charging more for it. That's what I feel about the Avo here. I feel like it's going to be like that. This one's another one I got in the sampler pack. This one is just a complete mix of everything. I mean, I got a list here of everything inside of it. The filler is Brazilian, Honduran, Nicaraguan, Peruvian. It's made in the Dominican Republic and has a Mexican binder. So it's actually made from the same factory that does the Camacho that were bought by Davidoff, and it's kind of like part of the big conglomerate style. But it's a box press. I mean, I like box press cigars. There's a really light smell to it. I mean, it's some good tobacco. You can tell they took the best of everything. I don't think there's very many Lajero in here, but oh, it smells good. I love the smell of cigars. My kids love the smell of cigars. I actually, if you look at the top drawer of my humidor, all you'll see is three or more of every cigar that I want to save, and I save those for my kids because when they get old enough, they want to try smoking cigars. And what's better than a really great cigar that was aged for 10 years after they got it? That's exactly why I got a Cigarador. It's like the Winador for cigars. It's absolutely wonderful. I loved it. And they're a lot cheaper than you think. I mean, a good humidor, you're going to pay a few $100 for it. This one was 250 or so. Really cheap. You can find them on Amazon. You can find them on a do, whatever the name of the website is. But it's a really great one. I did buy some extra temperature probes for it. I made sure that I got I did buy some extra temperature probes for it. I made sure that I got a little extra humidity coming into it just in case I wasn't getting the humidity level. It actually is holding a great humidity level with just a little water inside of there. What I like to do with aging humidor is I'll take hot water in a mister bottle and I'll barely mist it, close it, let it dry. Barely mist it, close it, let it dry. You can get the wipes and wipe it all day long, but it's better if you just barely mist it with distilled water, close it, let it dry. And also with the racks and everything that came in this one, that's what I did. I barely missed it, set it out, let it dry. And it doesn't cause warping or anything that way. You don't ever want to soak a piece of humidor in water because that's light cedar. It will warp in a second. If you set on something that's uneven, it's going to take that shape. Get a little bit of that spicier part they're talking about it, but it's just a good cigar, guys. I mean, if you can find a good sample pack within it or by itself, I think they had like a 5 pack on a couple different sites I saw that are pretty cheap. You can always go to one of the bidding sites that people like. I actually like those sites as well. I didn't find it until after I ordered the sampler pack that I could have got it on a bidding site for a little bit cheaper. With shipping, sometimes it's not as cheap. I've been a paramedic for 20 years, so I get discounts at different sites and stuff. Of course, they do all the verification, which is great. You don't want anybody getting stuff they don't deserve on there. Well, usually I order enough money that I can get free shipping no matter what, except on bidding sites, which they don't. So just pick it to where they all go off on one day, and they all ship on like a Tuesday or a Thursday or something, and that way you can get all your bids lumped in together and all sent to you instead of getting charged a $6 shipping charge for a $5 cigar. And yes, I'm drinking beer, so it's a good beer. You're probably drinking it before. I don't always drink beer, but when I do, it's this one. Now, single malt Scotch. I got one of those up there. It's really nice. I also got a couple things I aged myself. Scotch. My boss at my job is a really big Scotch drinker, and he loves it. I always like to get him a nice bottle. He actually went through a couple things a couple years ago. We got a nice bottle of Johnny Walker. I got completely too drunk to do anything except be drunk. And I smoked some cigars out by there. Talked about the future. Talked about what we could do, and everything worked out okay. I know everything's a little rough out there with the corona, but so you gotta take your time. You gotta live your life because everything's gonna happen to you. And just, I mean, who doesn't need an hour? This thing probably an hour and a half to their self to kick back and relax. I'm gonna check back in with y'all when it gets a little bit further down, and we're gonna see how the flavors notes changed and exactly what went on with it. See you in just a minute, guys. All right, guys. As you can see, it's holding a good ash. I have not ashed since I lit it up, but it is getting more complex on the flavors. It's not like a regular Cuban, which hopefully most y'all have had. Um, since there's no embargo now, well, since you can bring something back, there's still an embargo. Cubans kind of have one profile taste. It doesn't even matter what seed they have. It's kind of one profile. It depends on how good that profile is, how smooth it is. This is a lot better than the Cubans ever smoked. And thanks to my buddy Jay, I had some really good cohibas last year that I brought to Christmas and handed out to everybody, and we got to smoke them as a family. Of course, my dad's got a couple brothers, so passed them out to him, smoked one myself, gave the extra one away, and we just all sat around and smoked cigars. It kind of never was really a family pastime until it was. What can I say? Cigar life is contagious. Well, I'll come back to y'all. I had to ash that one because I'm wearing black, and you'd see if I ashed on myself. So I'll be back after I smoke a little bit more of this, and we'll go on with the review. Well, guys, I figured I'd come check back with you. Every time I need to ash, I figure I'd do a check back. That'd probably be a good 5 or 6 checks back per video. I don't know, if you have a better video format you think you'd like me to use, or maybe even live stream smoke one of these things, or one a lot smaller, maybe like an AVO or something, then let me know. I definitely take requests on what to review as well. And you guys, come on now, everybody likes smoking cigars. Not everybody can talk your head off like I can, but you know, give us your best cigar reviews, guys. Put on there what it was like, what you smoked. If you don't have it, you can go and you can order a cigar book or just download a little template online that tells you about what you want to do. I mean, for everybody out there, it's a different way. Sometimes it's like a wine tasting. You just got to learn what to look for to feel the difference in flavor, the difference in the way it texture is, everything. And I love smoking cigars. Mm. I mean, guys, if you haven't seen it before, check into the Davidoff video from Seed to Cigar. It's actually an amazing video. Teach you everything you need to know about how they age tobacco, how they store the tobacco, how they grow it, how long the tobacco's been around, how they age the cigars, what they do with it if it's not quite the right blend, how they even master blend it, how some of the blends come about. It's one of the ones that I liked watching. Uh, Taught me a lot more about it, and really kind of opened up your eyes and your palate that something like this takes a master blender, 30 years of experience, probably 10 years of this tobacco being aged. And also, why the tobacco is good for you, because it has been aged. I got some cigars coming right now that are 1979 Rocky Patels. I also have those pre-embargo Cubans that are from 1959, 1958, and they're great. I gave one to my dad, and he was born in 1959, so he gets to smoke a cigar as old as he is. I have some 1990, 20-year fermented, 10-year aged cigars. My wife's 30. It's the same age as her. I also got some 1990 vintage Rocky Patels that are coming. I'll do an unboxing on that one. I have some 1992s. So, I mean, I'll probably have to find one from 84 if I want to smoke one as old as I am. But 79 is even better. It's older than I am. I just like to taste the difference in between the exact same cigar from 1979 to 1990 to 1992 to now. What the aging really does for it. And of course, you can age them further because, I mean, the top drawer of my humidor is going to be nothing but aged cigar for my kids. I even have some wonderful $750 a piece Gurkha cigars. Absolutely wonderful. Uh, they're the His Majesty Reserves, and of course they're not $750 anymore because nobody will buy them at that price point. So you can get them for a lot cheaper online, and they're not a $750 cigar. I'll tell you that. They're probably $20 cigar. What it tastes like. This one's actually better than that, and I can do a review of that one if y'all like. But there's a couple of different ones that I definitely want to get out there that might be a little underappreciated, or like that Cohiba Red Dot, overappreciated. Because there's a lot of things in life that people just don't appreciate enough. Some things they appreciate too much. Have you ever seen that one guy? I'm in Texas, so this definitely goes for you. Ever seen that one guy has a team, loses constantly, still buys all their gear? That's a real fan. Those people are underappreciated, while the team is overappreciated. But when they win, like the Eagles did, and she came out with the Super Bowl, fans get to go crazy. Lord knows if either one of my Texas teams. Not really the biggest Cowboy fan before, but well, Jerry Jones and me and the people that he has on his team, I really like him. I mean, Jerry Jones is not a good general manager in all sense of means, but the way he treats his personnel and players seems to be a lot better than what most people are. And it's just, I'm gonna throw a little support behind him. Quit hating on him so much. All right, guys, we'll check back with you when another Ash comes along, and we start at clock now, and we'll see what it's like. By the way, just a flavor note, tastes a little more of that woody, a little less of the grassy, earthy flavor, and it's getting a little more complex with the spice. I kind of tasted, yeah, kind of tasting the oak. You don't retro inhale, you gotta try it. Put it through your nose. It brings a whole nother flavor profile. As you know, most of your taste comes from your sense of smell, especially if it nose like this one. And just try it out. There's even videos on how to retro inhale. So try it out, guys. Let me know what you think, and I'll be back after another Ash. And probably have to pour another one of those drinks out. Alright, guys. See you in a few. Alright, guys. Ash is getting pretty big again. This thing smokes really good. It's getting to that middle body flavor. It's about halfway through the cigar, a little bit less, but it's middle body. I mean, this is a 7.5 inch cigar, 52 ring gauge. It's one of going to be the best ones for flavors. A lot of people, excuse me, a lot of people like different size cigars, different flavor. Uh, you know, everybody to their own. I just say try a little bit of everything. Like me, there's no particular one that I absolutely love more than the rest. There are a few that I go smoke and go, wow, that's just an amazing cigar. But I can appreciate them for what they are. I can appreciate a small cigar for a small cigar. I can appreciate a cherry root for a quick little cherry root. I can appreciate, I don't like any of the machine roll stuff really, but any of the hand rolled and with long filler, those are great. Uh, don't try to go out and find something truly expensive unless there's a reason for it. If it's been aged a long time, if it's a special blend, if it's a manufacturer that has been making this for a long time, like Montecristo, somebody that has the amount of money that they can save the inventory to make a really good aged cigar, those cigars are worth the money. But don't go out and buy a $20 cigar that you don't have a clue about, you need to do research or rating or anything like that, because you may not like it, and you might have to force yourself to a $20 cigar. For me, like this one right here, I believe that AVO is just about $12 cigar. And from what I've heard, it's one of the best ones. I really can't wait to try it. Um, the Graycliff 10-year aged Maduro, that one was amazing. And it was a lot sweeter than most Maduros because of the aging process. I can do a definitely review on that one. I got an extra one left. When I say extra one, I saved 3 of it, all of them for my kids, like I said earlier. So I got 4. I got one left I can do a review on. Most packs I buy are 5 packs, just sample packs of each one, or a sample pack of 5 each. They give you like 3 or 4 different cigars. I don't really buy a full pack unless I like it, or a box. I won't buy a full box unless I really like it. That's why if you look at my humidor, I got a bunch of Cuban mistakes. Those are some of the quickest and easiest, just small ring gauge, nice size, smoke it, really great cigar. All of them got about the same flavor, even though they don't have the same color. They're not as beautifully wrapped as this, which is why I call them Cuban mistakes. It's a Cuban seed tobacco. It's just a really good one too. Uh, that one I don't really think's worth doing a good review on, just because it'd be over so quick. I mean, that one's usually a 45-minute cigar. One of the smaller ones. If it's going to rain or something, I'll go smoke one outside, relax underneath the canopy, turn the lights on, let it rain. The kids are playing by the pool. I'm breaking out a big Churchill, big Cuban round or something like that, or maybe one of these Montecristos or Big Gurkha. I also got ones from a local cigar shop around here, and they're absolutely amazing. They got some nice big ring gauges. They have Nicaraguan, Ecuadorian. What they do is they go and they get one of these factories that make the same cigars as Montecristo, Davidoff, all these, but they make them private label for them, ship it to them, and I'll make sure I get their okay to say their name before I say their name, their location. I'll tell you where to find it. They do online orders and everything. I was talking to owners today. He got a 26-year veteran in the military. He's the owner. His wife's one of the people running the shop. She was able to point out some really good cigars for my wife. I know all you guys sometimes want to get your wife into smoking cigars. That 90 plus Nicaraguan Overrun, one of the best cigars I've smoked in a long time, hands down. My wife loves to smoke them. I actually ordered her an extra 50 pack just in case. I throw that in the bottom of my humidor, leave those packaged. If you see mine unrolled, it's because I found out something really cool from the video. If they're in the plastic, not really aging right. They gotta be able to get into the seed. They gotta be touching the tobacco by itself. That's why you'll see mine stacked up, not only stacked on top of anything besides their own type of tobacco. Might be touching one cigar on the side, but it's not going to affect the flavor on there. I just want to make sure that I rotate them. I try to keep them against the cedar as much as I can. The little cedar pieces that come in when all the cigars are ordered, like the Cohibas, they stick it on the back. Some of them they slide in the tube with it if you get them in the tube. I just like to throw those in there on top of them. Just let it soak in some stuff. It's a wonderful thing about cedar. It can take out a lot of the impurities out of it. Cigars don't usually have a filter, but cedar is kind of like a filter for it. It takes all the bad stuff out. Now I see why the cigar is such good rated. I mean, throughout the whole time you can kind of taste it, but I keep my humidity right at 70. Sometimes it's a little bit higher, 72 right after I get finished. Add more water to it. But usually it sits around 70, 69. All my temperature, I live in Texas. I'm lucky enough that my dad is an AC guy. So my house stays at 70 degrees no matter what time of the day it is. Sometimes a little bit lower depending on if there's a plant outside or something. I'll crank it down. During the winter time, it sits at 72. With that cigar humidor I have, it's heated and cooled. So the ones I really want to age stay in there. With my other humidor sitting in a nice warm corner right next to it, so it's going to stay the exact same temperature year round too. Temperature is very important. Everybody knows about cigar beetles. You just have to be careful that you don't drop too low in humidity, go up too high in humidity, change temperatures too much, because that can make these little things come right out at you. And they're not going to do anything like spray pesticides on cigars or any tobacco, because then you have to wash the leaf and it might not get off. So what you're smoking is 100% pure. If bugs eat it, they throw it away. And that's just it. Just like rip a piece of leaf out. Uh, some of the videos you see from Seed to Cigar, they'll show you about it. I suggest next time you smoke a cigar, pick a nice long Churchill, throw on David off from Seed to Cigar, and just watch it. And some parts are a little boring, not gonna lie. But when you watch it, you're gonna learn a lot more about it. A lot of people like to talk about different leaves and where they're put at and what they're used for and how they're grown and how they grow different parts. For me, the one important leaf for everybody to know is the Lajero, and I know I said H instead of G. I tried my R's. I'm from Texas. If you don't speak Spanish and you can't say Roberto, come here, Roberto, you don't know, who's gonna come over there for you. I mean, half the guys I work with, I think, are named Roberto. So, trilling your R's in Texas, normal thing. If you're doing it in Massachusetts, please send me a video of that. That's gonna be hilarious. Oh, well, I'll let y'all know when the ash gets big again. Go ahead and start the clock, and we'll finish this one out together, guys. That's definitely time to ash again. Let me go ahead and pour another drink real quick. I'm only drinking it out of the bottle for the simple reason is I like drinking it a lot faster. Drinking out of the bottle is too slow. Didn't ash. Waited for you guys. Don't worry, it's not a Corona cough. That's a Connecticut cough. Definitely still staying medium body. You'd expect it if it got that far down, a little bit over a third left, that it get a lot stronger just from, the tar buildup and stuff. But this has been a delightful smoke. I can't really rate it until you get all the way finished with it, but from my experience with the wrapper and the filler, it's just definitely better than 91. I'd say it's 94, 95. Solid 94, 95. Can't really rate it stars because it'd be a 5 star. I mean, there's just too many ways to, oh, it's a 1 star, 3 star, 4 star, 5 star. 1 star is easy. That's where 5 star gets hard because it's 5 star all the way through. 4.8 stars, that's where you start to get a little tricky. I like the 100 point system. You can also order a good cigar journal, which I suggest you do. You can order from Amazon for like $6. And you can also order one off of Cigars Daily. It's the one he goes by. And I'm not going to list the website. You know who he is. Tim's a great guy. Talked to him a few times over the phone and internet and stuff. And he really suggested some things when I was starting out. Watching his video reviews when he was with TNT kind of really helps you out when you first get started. I've been smoking cigars since I was 18. I grew up in a little place in Texas where there was a Cuban guy that had his own cigar factory in my little hometown. Me and my brother went in there and we started talking to him about different cigars and wrappers and the nuance of it, and we got hooked. I mean, just 18-year-old kids, we got into cigars. My brother is one of those guys that smoked cigarettes before but doesn't now and kind of spent time going on and off, but boy's not going to turn down a cigar, I tell you that. If you don't have one of those little cigar places around you got to find. Sometimes they make their own. Here in Houston, they got a couple different cigar factories that actually they don't grow anything, but they order it, they get it sent to them, they do whatever they have to. That's one of the best things about smoking a cigar. Is actually watching the smoke. When I sit outside, don't even have the fan on. Just have my outside lights on. Uh, I'll probably do a couple reviews out there. I got a nice brick wall thing coming from behind me, just to where you don't have to see my mirror shining back at my clock and stuff. It'll just be a nice, cool, even background. I figured I'd go ahead and start a video while I could, so it was suggested to me by a couple people that maybe I should do a cigar reviews because, well, it's my passion. I'm not planning on making a living off of it. It's not something I plan on retiring from. Like, oh wow, cigar reviews really took off there. Monetized, make a bunch of money. I'm kind of doing it for me and everybody else, and kind of want y'all to post them on here. That's the truth. A lot of channels on YouTube, which this we post to YouTube and Vimeo, and also Facebook. A lot of channels out there kind of go off on different things, like politics, today's current events, uh, anything. I just like to talk about cigars and life. I am very outspoken on a couple different things, but not on this channel. This channel, it's not for them. Everybody always disagrees enough, anyways. I'm not going to put people things to argue about. Besides lighting cigars, that's always a big contention there, and the cutting of it. On that one is to each their own. If you're not from Texas, you might want to get here and find out what it's about. Because to be honest with you, we don't care. We care what you believe, we care what race, color, creed, religion. Hey man, works for you, good for you. I'm not going to try to force you to think the way I do. I'm not going to force anything upon you on how I believe. That's my beliefs. Your beliefs are your beliefs. That's the great part about this country. You got a right to believe, think, whatever you want. You got a right to talk about it. That's not on my channel. Because honestly, this is Cigar Life. Cigars, life. Pretty easy. I don't like to be too controversial on anything. I do like to speak the truth. And the truth, believe it or not, is the widely most unaccepted thing in the world. Well, life, the wonderful part about that, has a way of teaching everybody the truth eventually. Might be harder for some people, might be easier. That's not for me to decide. It's not my path. My path is to tell you how good Montecristo did on this. I mean, absolutely amazing blend. The growing season was perfect for this. The wrapper is just the right amount of thickness. The fillers are just beautiful flavor. It doesn't hardly change almost all the way through. It's still middle body at most. That's just an amazing cigar. In life, life is the other part. I have two kids, a wife, and I work. So pretty much, I'm like everybody else. Even if you don't have a kid, even if you don't have a wife, life is never easy. It is what you make it, though. If you're the type of person that can take one of these, sit back, and just think about it. Think about the cigar, think about the work that went into it. Or one thing that I recently posted about, take 1 minute. Think about everybody that loves you in your life. Think about all the good things you have. Not the bad. Not the bad around you. Just think about all the good things in life. That's a good minute spent. One you won't regret. Some cigars, you won't regret it. Life, full of it. Full of regret. Accept it. Go on with it. It's a wonderful thing. The great part about the worst parts of life is they don't last very long. You don't usually remember them because your life gets better. You know? Unless you're one of those people that has the poor disposition of not being able to smoke one of these. Think about it. Well, guys, get you back at the next ash. For right now, enjoy your smoke. Enjoy your life. Sit back, relax. I'll be back in a few, guys. Guys, I think I have one more ash after this. And burning good. Taking his time. Ooh, it's a nice one. It's been about, I'd say about an hour and a half so far. This one's burning nice and slow. Trying to get some smoke rings out, but my AC vent blows it right on me. It's good for keeping my bald head cold. Bad for smoke rings. I think in every ash format, I think I kind of like it. Uh, it's one of those things that I watch some cigar review videos and they smoke the beginning. Oh yeah, about 10 minutes, then they come back at the end. Oh, it was like this, it's like that, it's like this. But you don't really get the feel for the cigar like you do if you're smoking it. I'm trying to give you that experience where you feel like you're smoking it. Because right now, kind of has that little spicy flavor that cigars get at the end. One of the good ones. And just a little more earthy tone that it started with is actually coming back now. It went away in the middle, and all I really tasted was kind of that good oak flavor, that kind of aftertaste you get when you drink really good Scotch or whiskey that's aged in a nice white oak barrel, and which I think would actually pair with that good. I don't want to drink it with that. Well, I don't want to smoke it with that type of drink right now because honestly, I want to be able to taste the cigar. So I get something that's not really high and too much flavor, not too stout of a beer, just a nice, good palate cleanser where I can taste the cigar. Now, the second time I smoke one of these, because I did get a 5 pack, aged in 3, so got one more left. Next time I smoke one of these, it's going to be with probably some 20-year-old Scotch. I think it would be good. And if you do like age your own stuff, get some of those aging sticks, drop it in there, change the profile of the Scotch. Doesn't do it to all the Scotches. Really good Scotch is not going to change. For some reason, nice cheap ones change the profile like you wouldn't believe. I actually aged a few of Applewood for my boss. Applewood does the same thing as oak, it just does it 10 times more. Almost like you added a perfume style essence to it. Just a really great flavor. There's also good YouTube videos on that. I'm not going to post any of those just because, well, cigars and life. I'm probably going to do a couple live ones, just live smoking cigars. most likely going to be boring. I want to make sure I got enough followers and stuff before I do one on Facebook Live. But I think the good part about doing live video is I have more interaction with y'all. It's like taking callers on a radio show. It's just like the radio host talking to each other. Kind of try to pose some questions to myself while I'm sitting here smoking and go on about, you know, the normal podcast style format. If you haven't watched it, Joe Rogan, really great podcast. Pretty much everyone's watched it. Everybody has their favorites, but one of the things I like about him is the ability to change his mind. Now, a lot of people confuse education with intelligence. Not true. You can take the most educated people in the world and drop them off in the middle of nowhere. They ain't gonna make it. Not common sense. You can give them all the book smart in the world. Not gonna make it. Common sense is probably the biggest thing in intelligence. And for most people smoking cigars, they gotta have some common sense. Those intelligent guys that don't have any common sense, they're usually gonna read the first study, like, oh, I can't smoke cigars. It causes cancer. Oh, what's this? No, it doesn't. When they loop in those cigars, they do all the flavored tobaccos, all the fake cigars, all the Swisher Sweets and Black Milds and all that stuff, which people do like to smoke, but it's basically a cigarette. Real cigars that real people like to smoke are a lot different. And the reason why these cigars are so much better than Cubans, American cigars are, I call them American because 2/3 of the cigars made in the world are for the American market, 1/3 is for the Cuban market. So the Cuban market for the rest of the world. We change. We're Americans. We're God, an infinite amount of races, religions. People pray to spaghetti monsters. There's everything out there you can think of. Every flavor in the world of person. So they try to make cigars to match. And I like trying them all. I was raised in Louisiana, where food is, you don't know what you're eating, don't ask because it tastes good and you might not want to find out. Cigars, smoke it, find out a little bit more about it. Find out a little bit about it more before you smoke it. Doesn't really matter. Sometimes you smoke a cigar and you go, that's really great. What was in that? It's kind of how I was for the first 10 years of smoking cigars. Kind of knew what I wanted to look at, what I wanted to check into, but I like the kind of mood I was feeling in the filter. But knowing that Maduros could be some of the smoothest and sweetest cigars kind of blows people's minds because they're dark. A lot of people like to make the dark Maduros now for people that like strong cigars. It's kind of what people associate. Dark coffee, strong cigar. Light coffee, light flavor. Light cigar, light flavor. And it's just one of those things that we truly have Americanized, even the cigars. That's one great thing about Texas, though. You will taste everything, especially here in the Houston area. Get the best Indian food, best sushi. Maybe not the best sushi, but good sushi. Uh, Great Chinese food. The best Mexican food you could ever have in your life. The Tex-Mex. You can even find some authentic stuff. Menudo is really great hangover cure. Love it. Carne deshebrada. If you've never had it, slow roasted beef. It's like having somebody make a Mexican pot roast for you and then tear it up and stick it in taco, cilantro, onion, and lime. My God. My son, picky eater, after that, he found out he was missing out on that for that long. That boy can't wait to try something new. Usually he gives it this. Me, me, which drives me wild. Because he's like, yeah, don't like it, don't not like it. Do you want more? Yeah, I want more. then it's a thumbs up, man. Because if I like the cigar and I like more, I'm not gonna go, eh, means I'll find something better. This means I'm smoking something out of a convenience store because I didn't pick right. This one, good thumbs up. I mean, just this reviews lasted 45 minutes. I did not think it was going to last so long. I thought maybe, guys, 30 minutes of content, 30-minute video, post and go. But for it to last this long, with just talking after every ash, it was amazing. I mean, I like good cigars, and that's the part I kind of go for. I usually like to take the wrapper off earlier, but believe it or not, I learned this the other day. Because they stick them together with that gum, the wrapper, sometimes they miss. And you don't want to pull it off while it's cold, you want to pull it off while it's warm. And some places in cigar books have a place to put your wrapper. And that way, you want to save your wrappers, but you just don't want a bag full of wrappers. Keep it like a scrapbook. If you smoke as many cigars as I do, and many different kinds as I do, it's kind of hard to remember that, man, that Montecristo was just so amazing because you smoked probably 5 Montecristos afterwards. You probably smoked a lot more 90 plus afterwards. Probably smoked a lot more samplers. So having a scrapbook to look back on and go, ooh, yeah, I got one of those in my humidor still. That's that Montecristo Extra long, 90 plus rated. That's that wrapper right there. That's the one that I really enjoyed for almost 2 hours of smoking. Got to sit back and relax and just enjoy the master blenders. You know, got a good memory. I can remember everything about every cigar I ever smoked. Writing it down happens. It's not one of those posh things to do. Because cigar aficionados, those guys that are too posh, not your everyday smoker, that don't live the cigar life, cigars are their life. Those guys that you go, oh, it has about, I'd say, 3 leaves in the wrapper. Very close to the Corona before they got it. I can tell it's a stronger wrapper. Good filler. Long leaf. It was rolled in summer. 94. That's not us. That's not people that have a life and smoke cigars. If you are one of those guys, you probably aren't watching this channel. But the pure fact is, you're making your own, you're telling us too much about cigars. We don't want to know. I want to know, eh, eh, and I'm not going to give you what my son does. I'm going to give you definitive. Not, yeah, I smoke it sometimes. And I did get the okay. I'm going to make sure I get their information correct. I do not want to get it wrong. And I'll be reviewing this, a few more cigars from them. Just because it's not your everyday cigar. It's not something you can find all the time. So let's see. This place is in Little Santa Fe, Texas. If you haven't heard about it, unfortunately, they did go through a school shooting in Santa Fe. I'm actually on my way to work when that happened, but we're just going to leave it to that one. And they're really known for so much more. They're so much better. It's called the Bunker Cigar Lounge. You can look it up on Google. In Santa Fe, Texas. They're ones that if you go to my page, you'll see all the different cool little designs on cigars. They got some big ring gauges. It's one where a husband and wife are really nice, and I'm gonna do a couple of their cigars, a couple of reviews on that. Excuse me. I don't expect to get any 90 plus rated, but that's the great part about smoking them. I don't know. I don't know. You gotta smoke it all the way down. to the bottom. It's this one that's lived up to the hype. When you smoke cigars with no hype and it's good, create that hype. Tell your friends. Buy another one. Hand it to them. I mean, it's $5 in between friends, $10 in between friends. For right now, second best cigar I smoked all week. That's saying something. You just smoke about two a day. Usually not bad. Best one, still that Nicaraguan 90 plus. I mean, I'm gonna have to do a review on that one. It's not banded. It's a factory overrun. Sorry guys, I'm getting a little coughing at the end of this one. Well, it's one of those ones you can find for a good bundle price and just best cigar I smoked in a long time. Actually, that one. It's one my wife likes. So told y'all what I did for ordering another one. But considering the price point for them, my God, they are cheap in comparison to something like this, and actually better. And if you smoking this one right now, you say there's something better than this out there. There actually is, for my taste. For you, you might think something better is something from your local shop. A little Maduro. Could be a cigarello Maduro. Could be a little cherry wood. Heck, you can like backwoods better. That's the great part about Cigar Life. Reviewing yourself, reviewing your cigars, looking through your stock and saying, what don't I have? What do I need? It's not what do I need to smoke next, what do I need to try, what do I need to expand myself. If you don't like them, leave them in the back of your humidor for 10 years. You're not going to quit smoking cigars. And if, God forbid, something does happen to your house and catches on fire, just stand downwind and tell everybody there's cigars in that humidor, so if it burns, I'm going to wait right here and see what they all taste like together. But good humidor, spend the money for it. If you got a little humidor, that's fine. If you got a Ziploc bag with a humid pack in there, good. Get a little piece of cedar, slide it underneath it. It comes with it. You're still gonna do the same aging process. You don't have to have a big expensive thing like I have. You can have a little one that comes online with cigars. One that you got to refill, one that you got to check, one that you got to put your own little dial in there because it doesn't have an electronic one yet. But I'm just surprised at how long this one lasted. So I'll check back with you on the next ash. It'll be the last one. Well, enjoy your cigar. I'll be back in a few after I enjoy this one. Well, guys, it's getting down to the brass tacks on this one. On Churchill's, I always like to do the finger method, do the second knuckle. The reason why you do that is, for what my cigar guy used to tell me when I was growing up, is that you don't want to get too much of that filtered in tobacco that went through there. All that tar buildup. Even though it still tastes medium body, just great cigar. It's just uh, not quite going past that first knuckle or second knuckle there is what I like to do. Just going right to it, calling it even. If not, you'll find yourself coughing a little more. I found out big Churchills. Other cigars you smoke down a little bit lower because a small longer cigar don't have as much stuff in it. And I just I love to smoke cigars, honestly. And when I get them down to that far after smoking for 2 hours, I kind of thought I got all the good out of them, and I got my money's worth by far out of this one. And if you buy one, you'll get your money's worth out of it too, I guarantee it. It will not be something you're going to regret later. Held that one a bit. Sorry, I keep touching my face over here, but trying to grow my beard out, and makes me itchy. Usually clean shaven or 5 o'clock shadow. I grow a beard really fast. I like to shave because blonde hair, blonde eyebrows, red beard, and kind of look like a Neapolitan bar sometimes. But I'm gonna try growing a beard out for a little while. Never really had too much of one. A lot of people work jobs where they can't have them. Fortunately, I can have them at any one of my jobs. I've ever worked except for fire department. Got a clean shave for that one. You ever wonder why they have those mustaches? Because your respirator's got to fit on your face, so you can't have it past the corner of your mouth, and it's got to be thin. So the firefighter mustache is just everybody that wants to grow a beard that can't because of their job, so they grow that little mustache. My dad's had a mustache for years, not from being a firefighter, even though he was for 40 years, but just big, thick mustache. You always say you look like Dr. Robotnik on Sonic with that big mustache. Well, guys, this has been a good cigar. It's been a good part of life. Nice talking to you. Nice reviewing it. Please leave your comments below. Like, share, subscribe. You have a good life and a good cigar as well. See you on the next review. And please, post a couple of your reviews up. You don't have to put a video. You can just take a picture of the cigar and you smoking it. Put down what's on this piece of paper right here. Kind of guide you by the cigar, the name, the maker, origin of the tobacco, price, length, ring gauge, rating, flavor wheel, and flavor meter. And if you don't know what all those are, look into it. Expand your palate a little more. I mean, that's one of those things that you don't really think about until you think about it. Yeah, it's about that time, guys. So, again, like, share, subscribe. Good cigar, good life.